The thing that has to do with oil is the responsibility of the federal government, not that of the state. But I did hear the president say that this time we will stop importing fuel, because what it actually takes to refine oil in Nigeria is just regulatory framework. If the federal government stops the subsidy on petroleum, then there will be investors that will be very, very glad to invest in petroleum products. So I hope that the president will keep to his electioneering promises, especially as it concerns the subsidy on petroleum. If that happens, some states may even be willing to go into the building of refineries. But I know that a lot of investors are interested.
There is a petroleum industry bill currently underway. Do you support some of those proposals?
I do, completely, I do. Yeah, I believe that the government has to ease out. They really have to step outside the process of producing crude oil and be just there on the basis of regulatory authority, so that those who are in the industry can deal with the industry themselves and allow the federal government to oversee what is going on. If an NPC wants to participate, they should come in as a private entity and not just be there. They are investors, they are regulatory authority. There will be conflict of interest.
And what bearing is this going to have on River State and its oil industry there?
Huge. First, there is a clause that allows those who not really own, those in whose community you have the oil wells, to benefit 10% of the oil coming out from their location, from their community. That will benefit communities in River State. And then there will be a transformation of the oil industry that will lead to more investment, and with more investment will create more employment opportunities.
River State has been coined as an investor's haven. What are you doing to overcome some of the challenges such as security, infrastructure and stability?
The security has improved tremendously, that we're beginning to receive all manner of people from different places. So security is not an issue. And we're currently building 426 primary schools out of the 750 that we plan to build. Out of the 160 health centers that we plan to build, we have completed 100 and they are functioning. And patients are going there both in the rural areas and in the state. There are road infrastructure. SIPEM would complete 180 megawatts of power between July and August. We already have 150 megawatts and 130 megawatts. There is 75 megawatts to be completed. By the time we get to this time next year, we should be having between 600 and 700 megawatts. And the state actually needs about 400, maximum 500 megawatts. So we're working hard on infrastructure, because we know that the basis for which you can have such investment is the provision on infrastructure, and trying to make commodities that are produced in River State to be competitive with commodities outside the country, or even in the country. And this will be dependent on the availability of infrastructures that aid business.
In Nigeria, the government funds each state, but at the same time, each state also has to raise its own money. One of the challenges is that all of these states are looking in the same places, for example, local bond markets, to raise their funds. What is River State doing differently, and what is your strategy?
We have what they call the internally generated revenue. Those are taxes you collect in the system. And our internally generated revenue rose from 2.5 billion to 4.5 billion now. And 4.5 billion naira is about $30 million, which means it rose from about $15 million to $30 million. Now, but that's not enough if you have to carry out what you may tag the infrastructure revolution. We're looking at the local bond market. We're looking at the possibility of raising between 100 to 250 billion naira internally. We're rated by Fitch, we're rated by S&P, so that alone is enough to encourage investors to invest in our bond. When we do get that, then we'll be able to fund more power. We'll be able to carry out distribution so that we can have regular power supply. We'll be able to deal with the university. We'll be able to deal with a multi-development and road infrastructure. We're looking at new roads that we have to construct. And then we'll use the funds that we get entirely from the government to complete such projects as the remaining schools that we're building, the secondary schools we're building, and the health centers and the university that we're building.
And finally, Governor, what does River State have that other states don't have? How are you selling yourself to investors?
In the whole of the South-South region, And after Lagos, in the whole, maybe Abuja, in the whole of Nigeria, we are the only state with the infrastructure that can carry such an economy like the Nigerian economy. We are the second largest economy in Nigeria. We are an old city. We're not just a new city. We have power, we have good roads, we have so many infrastructure that other states are still struggling to build. We are improving on what we already have. So if you want to do business, you have that. Then after Lagos, we have population in the city that become a market for those who do business. Yes, they said you see other states have the oil industry, they produce oil, that's true, but the framework by which other states do their oil business is located in River State. So anybody who wants to do business, whether oil related or not, can actually come to River State and they'll be glad to do business in River State.